That's British built for black people that they kept in the dungeons. And because they were suffering, some of them were fighting the white men. They wanted freedom. Some said they were freedom fighters, and they said they were rebellious slaves. Those doing that, strong men were brought here. This cell has 3 doors at that time. There was a door here. Not a black can be small. There was a door here. We have removed this one. You can see there was a door here. One door in the middle and the last door. So they will bring all those people here. They will lock the 3 doors. They won't give them food, no water, no light until they die. Wow. They were starved to death. The last door left is open. Look at how they are sweating. Yeah. If they lock the 3 doors and you are here, just imagine. That was how the white men kill our people on our own soil. But today, nobody is going to die here. We are going out. But please, bend low, go low, low, low.
Oh, this is cruel.
Very bad. That's why I say you had to come. You know what I'm saying?
Can't see nothing. This is not good. And it has
You can't see where I'm coming from, huh?
3 doors. This is not good. And it's packed with people.
It is original door from the British. It might not be the first, but it is from the British. This is original. Coated with metal. Okay, touch it, why not? If I can touch it, you can take a picture. Right?
I got my camera. This is an original slave exit door made by the British. Keep all my ancestors in there.
And while we are taking a photo, look at
My oil,
something.
man. Anointing oil.
We have some piece of writing there with some names. There are names from some people from the States. And if you heard about the year of return 2019, you have a year of return?
Yeah.
Year of return 2019.
Yeah.
2019 was called year of return because 2019 marked exactly 400 years of a slave ship that left the shores of West Africa to Jamestown in Virginia, North America. The year was 1619. But that does not mean that was the first time Africans were taken to the New World. Before Jamestown, some of them were taken to South America, the Caribbean for about 200 years. But this one was in relation to Jamestown, North America. Because that was 400, it was a kind of anniversary or commemoration.
Yeah.
Because so many African Americans came together that year, January through to December. But on this date, 22nd August 2019, 200 people, blacks, came on the tour. The organizers were Danny Glover from his school. It was a Sunday. He took them around. In fact, many of them were in tears. When we finished with the tour, they decided to put on their namesake to show that they were here during the year of return 2019. And most of them are some celebrities in the US. So you can know some of the people, I think so. If you're going to get a picture, just stand here. You get a full name. But if you stand, you get half. So don't stand there for me. Stand here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the camera off.
Also, what's that? Genesis 15:13. 400-year bondage in a strange land, not known to them. And then afterwards will come out with great sustenance. Genesis 15:13.
Okay, after the pictures, let's come around here.
Some of the cannons. They were shooting these joints at ships, oncoming ships.
And they have church.
And they got church. They got church and doing slavery in church. Oh man.
Now this one is a water reservoir, which was built by Europeans. When full, the volume is about 20,000 gallons. They only do rain harvesting. So you can see some pipes like this. The pipes were connected up, so whenever it rained, they harvest all the water and keep the water here or store it here for use. They depended solely on rain harvesting for 400 years.
Wow.
This is a reservoir.
shrine.
So I'll give you about 2 minutes for the sake of those who came when we're starting. Those who came first had a long news. And those who came when we're starting, take them. You know how they organize the whole thing.
I had a dream 7 days before I came to Ghana that a tidal wave came and destroyed the castle.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why we done this protection.
That ain't possible.
Huh?
That ain't possible.
Oh, to what?
It's so strong.
If God commands the waters to clap, the waters will clap. I hope it's not, but this is an evil place.
It's your dream.
It's an evil place.
Yeah. Canon.
From what happened?
Canon. Move from the canon. So evil. But what you can say it's a weapon. Now we are. Okay, are you getting ready? Are you done with your photos? So that we... Yes. They go through this. They don't come outside. They walk in this one, in the darkness, in chains, to the door of no return.
The door of
Where we are
no
going to see
return.
now. So this place serves as a monitoring point where they monitor their movements. So please get closer and see the hole, then we can move on. Dark. Please be careful you don't fall, alright? Be careful you don't fall in there.
That's not my first time.
That's not first time.
No.
Okay. So please, this is the passage.
Yes, yes, yes.
Outside. You chase, you start the journey from there, you go through all the way to this place. At first, this was the exit for the men. All the men were exiting this way. But due to the tidal waves, the sea was coming in. So that place was blocked by the British people. And this one was created as a new entrance. So from here, instead of them going this way, we pass here. But this side was blocked only when the train was over by George McLean. We are going back again. And that's it. But this cell was built for some of the female captives that British wanted to rape, but they wouldn't refuse. Because of malaria, Europeans never brought their wives to Africa. Malaria killed them to the extent that they named the coast of West Africa the white man's grave. So only men came, left their wives in England to take care of their children. And the men were here with adults. So they could not stay alone for a longer time. That was they raped that family. But sometimes, if they wanted to rape, some of the women would be fighting them. If you said no to that, they brought them here and around the door. They would lock them, they would stay for about a week for punishment. They were doing that 1 week in here. They taught her the mental. They were doing that to put fear in others. That tomorrow, you get closer to you, you don't fight again. You can see a hole there. That hole was the toilet in this bed. They passed food and water through this hole. Once in a day, sometimes twice. When we go to the female dungeon, this place is polar. So let's talk about how our ancestors were captured. I promise I'm going to tell you that. Now, during the time of slave trade, there were several ways of getting people. I want to make it clear to you today that because Europeans needed a black to go and work for them, the Americans in Caribbean, they managed to create a system across Africa that was very, very difficult for our ancestors, led by kings and queens, to resist the white people. And if you look at what is happening globally in the 21st century, to me, I think the system has not really changed much.
Right.
Nothing has changed.
Right.
The system is still working 24/7, but in a modernized way. Let me keep quiet, please. In a modernized way. One, Europeans captured some of the people physically using guns. Two, they worked with some blacks to capture other Africans.
Whoa, wait a minute.
They work with some of the Africans to get other people. Because today, before they can destroy you, they use your own people against you, especially Africans. That's what I'm talking about.
So we trade people, so we was against our own people?
Yes, they use us against our own. They use some of their men against our people.
That's like in America.
Yes, so that's why nothing has changed.
Yeah.
The system is still working. There were other Africans called slave raiders, like armed robbers of land in the system. When the whites came, they identified those people in society. They supplied them with guns, whiskey, sugar, milk, sardine, other things. And their system of trading was better. So they forced the robbers and accept their goods when there was no money to pay for. The robbers will organize themselves into groups like we are now. They'll go and raid villages at gunpoint, capture some people, bring them to the white in exchange for what they gave them. Some of the blacks were told that they were taking them to Europe for good living. They accepted it. That was a deceit. But the last one that brought about 70% of the people was ethnic conflict, intertribal wars. And I believe you agree with me that long before the white men came to Africa in 1471, it was the Portuguese. Before they came, there was nothing like today's Ghana or Nigeria or Togo or Zimbabwe. Then we had kingdoms, we had empires, we had African states, what about South African government themselves. Sometimes they fight each other by boundary just to expand their territory. Sometimes they fight over a piece of land they perceive to be rich of gold or any natural resource. And before the white men came, our ancestors, led by kings and queens, would go to war with weapons like bows and arrows that they manufacture locally in Africa. So when people say the white hasn't come, Africa would have developed. It's never true. Before they came, we were even manufacturing. When they go to war with these locally manufactured weapons, after a long fight, one tribe will lose the war. The losers will be taken as domestic slaves. It was more like indentured servant or servitude. Those people, they had some amount of freedom. They could marry, raise free children. They could acquire property. Later, they were integrated into the family system. They were not kept in buildings like these ones. They were also not taken to Europe and America permanently. They were free people in society. And I believe that system of slavery has been with humans since time immemorial. In ancient Rome, Egypt, even in the Bible. Let me give a typical example. In my country, Ghana, I know for sure that not long ago, if you own somebody here who hasn't got that money to pay, you can allow your son, your daughter, sometimes your wife, to go and work or serve the person you are owing for a number of years just to pay the debt. They can remember that system? Thank you. For the people who to work, you become a slave. But they don't keep you in a danger like this. If you are working like that, and you are a woman, and you are beautiful, with a good character, and somebody from the master's family should get married to you, automatically you free yourself from the slave, the man of the family. But there's no way I can enslave my wife. I don't think you men stand here can do the same. Even there was a system whereby if you are working as a slave at that time, and you are a guy and you're hardworking, and loyal to your master, the master can entrust his property into your hand. So in case the master is dead, you rise from nowhere to be the head of the family. So before the white men came, we had this system across Africa. When they got to our land, situation changed. Immediately, they capitalized on the African system. They introduced guns to the chiefs to replace the then bows and arrows. We know the power of the gun. They added the whiskey, sugar, milk, sardine. They didn't give it to the black people. And African thought it was free. It was never free. white man has no free lunch. You know, tell the blacks that they need the guns to protect themselves. The guns to fight the other tribes, take their everything. By so doing, they created division among the tribes. The guns get to the chiefs who were leaders. They will organize their people, use their weapons to go and fight the other tribes. So there were conflicts among the African people. So the more they go to the war, the end result was to get prisoners of war in exchange for European goods. This was the system 500 years ago. If you look at what is happening globally, brothers and sisters, tell me what has changed.
Nothing changed.
Nothing has changed.
No.
So when they say Africans sold their own people without telling us, they also brought weapons to create division among the tribes, then I get crazy in discussing. Because today, if you look at what is happening, the same system, right in modernized way.
Right now in Chicago, the same thing.
The same thing all over.
We killing each other.
Exactly.
The same thing.
But
Right
who is-
now in
who is
Chicago.
producing the weapon that they used to kill? Who is making the weapons?
The white man.
So what has changed?
Nothing. But us dying.
So they should be frank and say that they also brought weapons
Yes.
to the blacks to fight. The equation will balance a bit. Why we just say Africans sold their own people without telling us what contributed or what brought about the wars? Then I get crazy.
Yeah.
Do you get my argument?
Yeah.
Yo.
People came from all over West Africa. Some from Ghana, southern part, the northern belt, three northern regions, Togo, Burkina Faso. You know places like Salaga in this country, northern Ghana, Tunu, Paga, Nandi. Those are market centers where they gathered.
All of us came from
All
Ghana.
over. They came from far north.
Far north.
They were in chase. They started the war from Salaga to Paga, Nandi, from there to Bronga Hafu, through Kimasi, and same as they walked, my sister.
Good.
Talking about 500 years. Where was Fake at that time?
Yeah.
They walked. It was forest.
They walked.
They came barefooted through the forest. They crossed rivers. In fact, sometimes beyond my understanding. Months walking. When they got to Asimanso, they had a stopover. It's not. Have you know about Asimanso?
Slavery.
Exactly. That was where they had their last bath when they brought to the castles. From there, they were given food to eat. They would smear them with shea butter after bathing. They would stay there for some time just to regain some lost energy. From there, when they arrived in the castles, they were not given the opportunity to bath after the time they would take it to the new. That was where they had their last bath in Africa, when they came to the castles. Any question on this? Now, can you walk from here to Magazine? Or Assemblies? So we're coming to talk about Magazine. They get to lot before Burkina Faso, walking down to the castle. What's it? Let's have a This and this were holding candidates for women. Women were 300. So we are going to enter one of the females, and I don't want to be biased towards
Door of
women.
no return.
Let's balance gender, right? So in front of them.
Female dungeon.
Let's enter one of the female dungeon.
Castle to castle. Dungeon to dungeon.
Were here, 150 in there. Total 300. They were far less than men. But you might be wondering, why do they enslave women? Do you know why?
House servants.
No.
Rape.
So what?
Rape them.
No. There was something.
I could be wrong. I take a stab to for reproduction.
To
Makes
reproduction. Reproduction. Because this issue of slave trade started in the 1500s, when in the history of the whole world, there was this man called Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus.
He said he discovered the Americas. So when he said so, it is not true. America existed long ago. So when he said he discovered that place, the Spanish moved from Europe to those places, and they established their plantations where they needed labor to work. So they tried to use the local people, called the Native Americans, or the Red Indians to work for them. But according to the same Europeans, they said those people were not strong. They were dying from diseases. So there was a Roman Catholic bishop. His name was Bartolome de las Casas. He suggested to the Spanish to look for alternative source of labor to replace the Native Americans. For that, we can look for Africans who are stronger and can work under similar climatic conditions to replace the Red Indians. So blacks were taken from West Africa to go and work for them in the farms in the New World. So we talk of weeding and harvesting sugar cane, cotton, tobacco, rice, and working in the construction sectors. Could have been men like us, but they took women, and they were taken purposely to go and breed, so they get more out of them. When the men got at 300, they were forced to multiply in their millions. They used them to work, they didn't pay anything. In this castle, they treated them like the men. They go to toilets, they urinate. At the end of every night, women pass their menstruations in the dungeon. They did not allow them to clean their teeth. They did not bath. There was no sanitary pad for 3 months. And upon all this humiliation, the white men still raped them. So if they wanted to do so, they were at the top. They would come down, open this one. And that's they go through. They would select a woman to the bedroom to go and rape. Those who said no to that were locked up in that cell. Some of them got pregnant in the castle. So when they were ready to go, women who became pregnant were not taken away. They freed them from the castle. They built some house for them when people come. This is stones and bricks like this. They kept them there. They became free people. They gave them everything. When they gave birth, sometimes they would free the mother, the child. They would take up the mother and the baby up to about 10 years or more. They would go and take the light skin baby from the mother. They bring the mother and the kid as a slave. And they gave birth to mulattoes, or light-skinned children. And they gave names to them. That is how come along the coast of Ghana, especially when Europeans settled, you have light-skinned people, and some of the Ghanaians having some European last names, names such as
Arthur,
like Van der Poy, Van Vika, Bartels, Da Costa, D'Souza, Johnson, Coulson, Ferguson, Morrison, Jackson, Williams, Dexon, Brown, Bruce, McLean, McCarthy, Taylor, Rugoff, all the censuses. I don't know, I know just a few. These are names from the white people. When the white men came, we never had these names. They were typical African tribal names, which they couldn't pronounce. So they corrupted most of our local names. So if you're Ghanaian, you know some of these names in society, please, you see them, educate them. Some of them were taken to England, Liverpool. And Liverpool was the biggest slave harbor in the whole of Europe at that time. Others went to Brazil, Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, including Jamaica from this place. And those who were taken to Brazil, South America,
that is this Bible.
because Brazil was the oldest country. Some of the Brazilians were also taken from Angola, East Africa. We talk about Suriname, Dutch Guyana, Curaçao and others. They also passed through the villages to some of the Dutch. And those who were taken to the French Caribbean, they were taken from Senegal, every island, the French were in Senegal. And interestingly, Brazil received the largest number of slaves from Africa. Do you know that? Brazil got 47%
So they are going out.
of the entire slave from Africa.
70.
Brazil, 47%.
47.
And Brazil is the third largest black population in the whole world, outside Nigeria and Ethiopia.
Facts. I looked that up. That's facts.
Yeah, we've been robbed.
And their slavery went on longer than
We've
America's.
been robbed. James Brown, one more again.
Bob Marley was telling us, you know what I'm saying? Buffalo Soldier.
No,
Yes, sir. finally back on the water. It was 1 month no fishing.
The ships were far away, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes about 200 meters away from home. So the sea came here. So they put them on boats. They enter boats from here before they go to the bigger ships. The ships didn't come closer. And now because of the work they are doing, they blocked the sea. The sea was coming here. Because the door was narrow also, this was a staircase that the British used. Look. British didn't want to go through the narrow one. They used one. Yes. So while you are taking the pictures, you can see the door of return at the back of the door of no return. You see that one?
Door of return. Switch it around.
The door of return came 1998. This one. There was a ceremony in Ghana called Emancipation 98. During that time, skeletons of 2 slaves, they called them Sabakasi, and Madame Cresta, were sealed from New York, from Jamaica. The male was from New York, the female was from Jamaica. They brought them to Accra. That's where we abandoned them. They put them in 2 caskets. This dog was open. They were showing the graves for short African funeral ceremony. Then they carried the skeletons of the 2 Africans to a nearby town called Asima. That's what I said is had a large passport. Those 2 skeletons stayed and are with us on our soil, buried at Asima. So that is why we are reading the door of return. It means out of the millions taken away to Cape 1998. That is telling all of us that at least once in our lifetime, we should come to Ghana, Madam Cape Coast Castle, and go through the door of return. That is exactly what we have done today, 3 years after the year of return. So I'm so proud of you for returning. We are returning. Originally to welcome look at it, and let's get closer and I'll explain to you. To welcome Michelle Obama. Because Michelle Obama's ancestors were taken out of this castle. That was why Obama came here with a wife. The day they returned like we did now, their power was unveiled by the traditional council to welcome Michelle and the 2 girls. So that it was to welcome Michelle. And you are all welcome. You are welcome. All right, so any question? Then I'll end my summary. Here we go, I will finish. Question, comments?
Taking donations?
Oh yeah, donations are allowed. Tips are allowed. Don't worry. So finally, before we go, don't forget the cast is 357 years. British built it around 1665. But the construction went through stages. It went through demolition. They built it over 100 years period. This is black people. The way they built it, the dungeons had 1,300 people at one time. Women were here against 300,000 men. They stayed 2 weeks to 3 months, all depends on the ships. 1860, slavery stopped. So this castle was used as a colonial administrative center. Now this castle is the youngest castle among the 3 castles. But the one at Elmina is first, also is second, is the last one. This one is now a UNESCO heritage site. That was done in 1979. Now, so toward the castle this afternoon, brothers and sisters, it ought to be in the everlasting memory of the sufferings of our ancestors. We pray that those who died here should rest in perfect peace. And those who love to return, so we have black people to find their roots and they man never again. I repeat, never again.
Never
give
again.
you that opportunity to commit such atrocities against
Such atrocities.
fellow human being. On this note, my name is Mark Tati. Nazana Fatu. Thank you for coming.
Oh, Mutasi.